Today I wanted to talk about Windows, in specific Windows login features, which have been crippling the system ever since the days of Windows XP with user accounts, and then further went on to system hardware locking, where you couldn't swap out a part without having to replace your entire computer tied to your user account, and further muddied by things like email and passwords and subscriptions and Microsoft OneDrive and all sorts of accounts that don't provide anything but claim to safely store your data, which they can't and don't. In fact, one of the only safe ways to store your data is with the file manager, which has been available since Windows 95 practically, or Windows 3.0, since the days of DOS. It runs on the same system that DOS runs on, and you can't really beat something that efficient and exclusive and all knowing and all powerful, because it was miniaturized to the very limited bit of power. It could still do a lot. So when you give it a lot of power, it just gets overwhelmingly powerful. And I don't really believe all the storage stuff about storing your account information either, where they tell you, oh, you can pay money to get 1 terabyte of cloud storage. That doesn't add up in my experience, and there's no way to load your files onto the cloud storage or recover them, so it's probably just an empty promise like most of the other details on these modern computers. But it's no fair. It's no fair, yeah. That they should do this kind of thing, and compounding that is things like two-factor authorization and account security, where you report on yourself that your account is hacked and they lock you out of your system, or they make you change your password every 2 months and lock you out of your system if you don't change your password, and then you can't get into your email to do your two-factor authorization because it gets stuck in like a catch-22. That's happened to me multiple times. It hasn't happened on Windows 11 because it doesn't use the same exact system that Windows 7, 8, and 10 did, but it's a big mess and it's a headache, and about all it gets you is a porn catalog and cheap music to listen to, which is worthwhile. But if you're looking for intellectual pursuits, you still can't beat community college and public school run by the government. But with talks of defunding the Department of Education by politicians, that may be no more of an issue for us, and we can finally all go back to being a simple pig swine for food industry moguls like the ones we have in my neighborhood here, where they don't really want you to exceed or succeed or excel. They just want you to like get fat and be meat and not be hairy. Because hairy means it's already being eaten by hair. Well, it's not fair. It's not fair. And our world is so old and so decrepit and corrupt and nightmarishly competitive and squared away. Like, everything's been squared away. You can't really find any niche markets to occupy in the modern world, because it's also staked out already. There's no fairness to it, you know. And I think my little speech here kind of sounds a little bit like how Nathan McIntosh talks on his podcast, just maybe a little what's the word? A little calmer, a little less exuberant. And he's a cool guy, comedian. And I look up a lot of comedy too, but it's not the kind of comedy that can stick with you for generations, is it? It's stuff like Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle and all those other great Hollywood movie spies, just people that reappear to you over and over again like they're immortal, and they never get old, and they never change their shape or their face or anything, and they never evolve. Possibly because they are mass produced, and they're clones, or they're robots, or they're artificial, artificially living creatures. But it's again no fair, because you don't get those benefits that they do, and their position isn't admirable. They're expected to be very simple, to align with the meat product goals of our society, because everyone's just focused on food and shelter and water, and they didn't focus on things like intelligence and tool use and profession when they planned their strategy for succeeding in this world. So we got plenty of HP snacks, plenty of potions, plenty of shitty bunkers, but nothing to do but stand around and stare, because nobody thought to bring or order anything special for the public perusal. But I kind of think like you might be able to find a stuffed animal here and there, but that's underwhelming, unless you really like velvet. So Windows, yeah, you can order stuff on Windows, but it's not easy, and you can't really charge people on Windows. Like, there's no point of service utility for Windows that I can find freely available and popular over the shelves to, like, say, somebody wants to buy a dinner that you just cooked. Instead of just giving them the dinner and asking them for $5 or something, how do you charge it onto a bank account with Windows? You can't really do that, so it doesn't empower you as employees are empowered all over the city with their registers. And it's like a different type of keyboard, yeah, mostly. Like, you don't get a red laser scanner, you don't get a printer receipt machine, you don't get a credit card machine, you don't get a number tabulator, you don't get a return process, you don't get anything for rebates or coupons to charge people for your products. So it's not really empowering creators as much as it is enslaving them and forcing them to do all the same jobs that they would otherwise be doing without pay. For somebody out there who does have a register and is charging people for their services, enriching them outside of the set, which you would think would need to get paid. But anyway, today we're dealing with a different issue. Today we had a rainstorm yesterday that put out the internet, and the internet's still out today, and it's been out since about 2 o'clock yesterday. So just think of all those unmilked cocks and all those unstuffed pussies just wasting away with no porn catalog to service and support their perversion. And that's kind of a relief, because it kind of enslaves you to be a sex slave too. It's like, I didn't have electricity for a really long time, and I was a virgin, and I was chaste, but within 1 week of turning on the electricity, I was like having sexual thoughts, like masturbating and stuff like that, which isn't really healthy. It's not healthy to do that. I don't care what sex ed tells you. Schools are a bad influence for the most part. You can learn some pretty cool stuff, but it's rare. And the longer you do it, the less you learn. So it was kind of troubling to me that my electricity connection was causing sexual activity, and it was happening outside of a safe environment. And just think of all the people out there just obsessed with sex. You can't like have a conversation about some guy asking you if you're gay, and it's really frustrating. And it shouldn't be the focus. The focus should be things like architecture and product manufacturing and restaurant work and automobile piloting and scouting and mapping, because the city streets change a lot, and wealth conservation, so we don't advance the city's growth beyond its capacity to exist as it should, as people pass through it, being transisted while a building spawns over their head, just dying like 100 million times in place over the course of a second, so that their bones and teeth can be harvested to make the bricks for the buildings, and their nails can be harvested to make the bricks for the buildings, because there's no product in our world that doesn't come from us and our dead bodies. So from a health standpoint, that's horrible. It's just like dead bodies are not good for your health. But we all live in dead bodies. I mean, a wood house is a dead tree. A brick house is a dead mammal. A steel house is a dead geode, or nugget or whatever, being melted and re-solidified with like all sorts of bad chemical interactions and reactions from the sun and the heat. And it's just unrealistic how in Windows games they just send out some workers to bang dirt, and then a house pops up 2 minutes later that pumps out units that kill things. It's not really a pointless system. There's a point to it, but you have to be very intellectual to see the need for all this buffoonery, and not everyone is expected to. And I'm not. My ancestors might have messed with RTSs and stuff like that, real-time strategy games and turn-based strategy games to build cities. But in my case, I have nothing calling me to that job. I don't really know why I'm here, other than to lackadaisically freestyle this video with the internet down, and then upload it when it comes back online. That could be any time today. It could not even come back online today. I've been calling Spectrum tech support, but all they've got is like a recording phone tree that asks you to press 1 or say internet or do this or do that, and it's not quite powerful enough to reason through a lot of problems. But I assume there's going to be a lot of service workers on the job today, so egg roll. I had an egg roll for breakfast. Tastes just as good coming up as it does going down. But it's also disappointing, the state of downloads in the modern day, in that the computer claims downloading happens quickly, like within 10 or 15 seconds of requesting a file. You're supposed to be able to look at it, but 9 times out of 10 it's just a splash screen that then denies you access to the program by claiming you don't have enough memory, or you have to pay money that isn't in your account, because it checks your account and sees how much money you have, and then always asks the price over your maximum limit. So there's really a lot of denial in the modern computer system that keeps you away from enjoyment. And nothing hurts more than wanting to be included and being left out. And not everyone should be included. I mean, the world needs hole diggers, but being left out when you're really excited about it is no fun. And I'm not that excited. So it's okay to leave me out of your plans for world domination. I feel like it'd offer a lot to a really wealthy person, but there aren't really any wealthy people in my neighborhood inspire enough to get paid. And no one's hiring. I haven't been at a job in like billions of years. I just like live on my ancestors' property and look after their stuff and guard over their projects and their products and their homework notes and their music sheets and their clothes and their unopened toys, and I never open them and I never read them, and I have a lot of mementos here from a long time ago that spawn dreams. Like a little object, you look at it, and suddenly a vapor cloud memory just appears and starts farting in your face with chemical weapons. And they disappear after a second, so somehow they're being destroyed, and the power of destruction for the dreams is powerful enough to wipe you out too. So in a way, we're brought into existence just to witness this stuff. And then we're expected to know what to react or deal with it. So I meditated for a long time off electricity, and what you might not know is you can still have holograms and stuff visible off electricity from the holograms air transmission method. So I was like being subjected to a lot of other people's worries and dreams and stuff, so I don't even know if my ancestors are mine or somebody else's. Because technically I wasn't the one pressing play on any of these dreams. And so what if somebody was pressing play for me to show me their history? I hope it was my ancestors, because some of these memories appear to be pretty old and repetitive for a really long time. Stuff like squishing a caterpillar with a stick, or remembering when our classmate exposed herself to us in kindergarten because she was a creep. Just like really embarrassing stuff, really low-level embarrassing stuff. Or like remembering a teacher's face during a lecture. Like ancestors' favorite teacher. Maybe they hoped we would study and become great like them. I think that's the goal, is for your kids to be great like you are. Or for your kids to be better than you were, which is easy. Because all your knowledge and experience helps them to grow. But if you don't succeed, your kids have a less chance of succeeding. So, the hares count as kids? I say yes. Do cats count as kids? Yeah. Dogs? Maybe. They're not as smart, but they still count a little bit. And so, also, I think your stories count as your kids, and other things you do and say and think, like your mind it can have offspring, like your ideas can have ideas for children, and your voice can speak in a way that other people imitate it, which makes them your kids too. So there's so many ways of leaving behind the legacy. And the only way you can really make it permanent is with a Windows computer. Or one of these weird things I'm going to now call Dreamweavers that make dreams come in. But I don't know how to work Dreamweavers. I just know how to work Windows computer. And I was really exceptionally delighted to find out that some of my ancestors had recorded videos from over 1 billion years ago that are still stored and watchable. It's not their entire video collection, because there's some we noticed were missing, but it's still pretty delightful to have a window into what created this room I'm in, with all these cool items and toys and stuff. And I'm just trying so hard to follow in the footsteps of my ancestors. So bless you. Have a spiritually productive day if you see ghosts or spirits, or have some kind of merry thing going on. And if you don't have a productive day at work, trying to overcome the difficulties of this power outage and this internet outage. I heard from the liquor store owner when I went in to buy my greens today that across the street didn't have any power, and HEB has like tons of refrigerators and stuff in there across the street, so I hope their products don't spoil, and I hope they stay productive and financially safe and sound, so they can pay to have someone other than me pick up the trash on the street, because when I go on my walks I pick up trash, and there's a shitload of trash out there. So behave yourselves and don't litter. And don't buy a cat, adopt from Austin Pets Alive, where I have an appointment next Friday to visit the main cattery, and maybe I'll take some videos for you next Friday of all the cute kitties I'm looking after. I should do that more, huh? Last week there were some very cute kittens wrestling and fighting and putting on a show, and trying to jump from on top of the cat scratcher and getting their spine stubbed to look all fat and stuff. And one cat was like, he was an adult cat, and he was humping a blanket. He was probably their stud. He had the nicest coat I have ever seen. And there were 3 mama cats and a pack of kittens that was sleeping that I didn't want to wake up. And the week before that, I wonder if it was the same kittens. Anyway, I have a lot to love and a lot to think about and a lot to care about. So I don't have enough, so I spend most of my days sleeping. But it really would be great to have a reason to live. Like some of you streamers really make your lives more difficult than they need to be, with toy unboxings and video game modding videos, and you become an expert of your field. But my expertise is more often than not staying away from stuff that could get me involved in projects, just so that I can stay as simple and as quick as possible at doing what I need to, which is little. So 23 minutes and 13 seconds on this video. It feels like I've been talking for an hour, honestly, because these clocks move slow. They move about 1 tick every 2.5 seconds. So it's like everyone keeps track of time differently. There's no standard for time, and that makes keeping track of your bank account very difficult. And I dare say, if you ever try to keep track of your bank account in terms of what you're spending money on, when you spent the money, how long it takes to consume the spent money object. Like if you bought a Coke, how long does it take you to drink the Coke, and how many hours are in a day-night cycle, and how fast does your wristwatch go, and your smartphone clock, and your system clock on PC, and your microwave clock, and your oven clock, and things like decay. Like you've also got like sand timers, like little flippable hourglass sand timers, and seasonal things that take time, and biological clock stuff like your bowel movements, and when you go to the bathroom, that can be put on a clock. So once you completely track all of your temporal inputs and variable algorithms and functions and stuff, you'll notice that the bank is ripping you off. In other words, every time you try to spend money, they'll decline you and make you wait longer to get your payment from them, if you're getting paid on a schedule. Some people live paycheck to paycheck, and their paycheck is under $40, and they get like $40 a day, or even less. Like my ancestors used to get like $20 a week, but they didn't have to pay for rent or food, so they survived somehow. And it's not fair. It's never fair, but the bank doesn't want to pay you. The bank isn't your friend. The bank is there to bank, which means slow down and turn the market downwards until there's less around, and less, because they have a negative, pessimistic view of the human condition. They think anything you buy will just make you sick and get you into trouble, so they try to deny money, which is irresponsible given how the prices are labeled. Like, technically, food should be cheap. Food, any meal should cost you $5 or less, but we've got people spending $50 on a meal. And the technology should be expensive. A computer should cost you over $50,000, but it's costing about $1,000 to $10,000. And what else? Subscriptions to music. You should be paying more for your music. You should be paying more for your movies. You should be paying you're about right where you should be for your clothes. Your clothes seem to be a pretty fair market track, so it'd be a nice situation to balance the price labelers at all the different stores, so the economy doesn't switch towards consumables, which cost the most and have the most profit, because they charge the highest price. Per cost for all of their valuable additions to society. Anyway, all I want is a balanced financial market, because I died from poverty in a past life, or a million past lives dying from poverty and starving to death. And once I turn on electricity, they just fattened me up and didn't really give me much else to focus on but eating. It's a very different life on electricity, that's for sure. And it's not noble at all. It's just really parasitic and selfish and desperate. Still somehow desperate, especially with all the health risks of electricity, like coffee and weight gain, and paralysis and seizures, and memory loss, and loss of skin sensitivity, and strange emotions and sensations of pain, and all sorts of horrible temperature sensations. And electricity is shit. If nobody was on electricity, I'd be happy. And politicians try to put you on electricity. They like when a disaster zone gets his power knocked out. Politicians, what are they gonna do? Oh, we need food, water, and electricity for the people here. Yeah. They can give you government food and government water and government electricity. No, you're gonna get it from the same places you were getting it from for more, because they're busy. The price will permanently go up. So even when they manage their disaster, they won't revert the prices to the lower value. And what do you know? Their profits skyrocket. And they hire more to do the job, which is good over a short period of time, but eventually the prices have to come down, and they never do, which is how the food industry got to where it is today. And if they ran it like they did in the 90s, I think it'd be a much lazier life force. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to find something to do. Maybe I'll watch my LTech Media Player Design Collective effort, in parentheses, public, on YouTube for a couple of hours, and wait until the internet comes off so that I can eventually spank my monkey, which is intended use. It's not fair. I had hopes and dreams of becoming a software architect. Or a media player designer. Or a heartthrob internet writer. Or a fashion model. All my dreams came to ruin now because of the status quo. And don't forget, when you turn on electricity, hospitals kill you. It sets off a little beacon, boom, 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 that the hospital can see. And then they come for you, and they stick you with needles in your fucking arm to make it all bloody like this. Bloody hell, and get you rabies and cancer and growth hormones and hairy body parts, and who knows what fucking drugs they can stick in you these days. I look at it as a Final Fantasy poison attack. It gets you down to 1 HP, and then they just breathe on you and you die. Because there's Phil. They just come from the electricity connection. They have no legal authority to kill you, but it sort of sets you into an augmented reality game, not unlike maybe a point-and-click adventure. And it's guaranteed to kill you, show character loss and digression instead of character growth and development. And definitely it'll eventually tell a story of great sadness and suffering and tragedy, which is really good at. But you have to care to feel like a tragedy. You have to have something to care about that you lost, and I don't think enough people in the modern day care enough to act when they have something that they love, myself included. So follow your heart, listen to your dreams, and tell the people in your life that you love. Hello. And then talk to them and then say goodbye. Like AOL. Bored. 34 minutes. This ought to make a good short. A 34-minute short. Okay, I'll shut up. I better go now so I can listen to my video on YouTube. But that's where this is going to. Putting it up on YouTube. Most likely might post a link to x.com. And the more I pin, the less I win. So catch me before I'm a total loser. If you want to keep up with me and talk to me and stuff and find out about it, which I'm sure you don't. I'm not that hot. I don't have a big rack and like a stringy bra, and like my boobs are only so big, and like my genitalia aren't even exposed, so you have like no reason to like talk to me. It's like not fair. It's not fair that I can't be hot too. Not fair. Anyway, I also think I might continue shaving this beard. And mangling this mullet. Bored. Okay. Enough self-talk. That's enough for now. Goodbye.